welcome to the Matching Mind podcast.
Yes.
Today we are speaking with Martin, a renowned psychotherapist, supervisor, and mentor with over 20 years of experience. He's a regular contributor to the press, a social entrepreneur, and a great supporter of online therapies. He's also elected chair of the United Kingdom Council for Psychotherapy. Martin is a clinical advisor to MatchingMind. Could you tell us a little bit of why you went into mental health, why you became a therapist?
Well, yeah, sure. There's many steps in that. It's quite a long story when you say a little bit. But I was always interested in psychology. I was interested in two things. When I had my bar mitzvah, I had a load of money in book tokens, and all the books were either on marketing or psychology. But the psychology books were full of statistics. They were really boring. I wanted to know about people. So I had I dropped it. I thought this is a terrible thing. And all, it's just boring. And it had like pictures of drawings. Is this a duck or is it an old woman? So it was about perception. It was just not what I wanted. I wanted to know how we ticked. I was a rebellious child and always being brought home by the police. So I had problems, right? I was what they call a problem child. And I was sent away to school, and I had 13 O-levels, but I couldn't get into university because my headmaster's report was like pure poison. So my father persuaded me to go to the Council of Legal Education and study law, which I did, but I didn't want to finish it because I meant working with him. So I really got very lost. Now, by the time I was about 25, I had a breakdown. And I went to the doctor. They gave me these big pills, these Nembutol. These would stop a rhino. So I was frozen with these pills. I was like, I couldn't. I went back to the doctor the next week and said, look, I can't feel anything. I'd rather be upset. I cannot feel anything. Do you have anything for me? And they said, no, not really. There's more Nembutol. So I phoned my dad and said, do you know, this is how I'm at? This is where I'm at. Do you know anybody who can help? And he said, well, I know a psychiatrist I was in the army with, and he's in London. Give him a ring. Rang this guy up, and he said, I can't see you because I'm too busy, but come and have lunch, which is always a good invitation. And I went down there and found him working out of a railway arch in Whitechapel. And this is before Whitechapel was hip. It was just a dump. And what he was a communist guy who'd set up his free clinic. And he wore a white coat and everything. And we had lunch. The only furniture was barrels in there. He managed to get some secondhand furniture and sold barrels. And he put down, the lunch was half his sandwich out of his Tupperware thing. And he said, you talk and I'll eat. And I did. And at the end, I said, do you think I'm mad? Because I felt I was falling off the world and I would not be able to scramble back on. And he said, no, I don't. I think you're stupid. I thought, okay, this wasn't the answer I was expecting. Why am I stupid? Could you explain to me why I'm stupid? He said, because you're trying to be somebody that other people want you to be. And you haven't yet found out what you want. So I go, well, what should I do? And he said, just stop struggling, like relax and float rather than swimming hard. And watch what comes towards you. Watch carefully what comes towards you. And find a community of like minds. That was it. But I left it flying. I felt great. I felt like, that's it. That's it. I understand now. I understand. And I went out, and a couple of years later, through a friend of mine, I met a community of people who were doing training, psychological training. And I did their training. It was called Infinity Trainings, run by a guy called Robert Daubeny. And it was fantastic. It really freed me up. It absolutely freed me up. It was brilliant. It was a weekend. It was like boot camp. It was really tough. I've done the consultancy time. I joined Metanoia. The Metanoia Institute trained me. It was a good training. And I came out, they went into private practice. But in the meantime, I did 7 years in the NHS as an honorary or volunteer counsellor. And that was really great. That was terrific.